morning and welcome to Ag Talking Raw, where I talk raw about agriculture and other things. So, I wanted to talk today a little bit about beef imports into the United States. There was somebody that asked me on my thoughts on importing beef into the United States and how, that Donald Trump has decided to import beef into the United States. Beef has been imported into the United States for many years by different countries, not because we don't have the beef here in the United States, because we export beef from the United States to other countries around the world. It's the quality of beef that we import that we don't produce here. We don't produce, it's all USDA certified beef, that comes in, but we don't produce lean beef here in the United States. We just don't. Beef that is imported into the United States is just that. It's lean beef. What is lean beef used for? It's used for hamburgers and fast food restaurants and other, pre-pressed patties and stuff like that. Our cuts are of a finer quality. We have nice marbled beef that gives it the good flavor that you're looking for, like in a steak or in a chop or in a roast or whatever. You can get American ground beef. Usually you buy that from a producer such as the Stony Ridge Farmer. He produces really high quality beef. It's grass-fed beef, but there are a couple of different ways you can produce grass-fed beef. One is the right way and one is the wrong way. And from what I've seen Josh do at the Stony Ridge Farm, is the right way. He doesn't grain his animals. But for the most part, animals produced here in the United States are grain-fed. Therefore, it has a higher fat content, which gives you the flavor that you're looking for. So I did a little bit of research here, and I'm going to read some stuff to you about importing beef into the United States. There are some key talking points here that I will touch on. One is key regulations. FDA requirements. The FDA ensures imported beef meets the same safety standards as domestically produced food. This includes registry of facility, following the food safety modernization, labeling the packaging goods accurately, and submitting prior notice. USDA requirements. The USDA regulates meat, poultry, and processed egg products to import beef. You need to meet country eligibility requirements, obtain import certification, and undergo reinspection at the port of entry. So those are some of the things that you need to actually get the beef here. So it has to meet a standard. It's not just some old Carabao that they pulled out of the Philippine jungle, ground up and shipped to the United States. It's not that. Even though the Aussies were sending kangaroo meat someplace or some shit like that at one point. At least that's what the rumor was. Top beef supplying countries. The U.S. imports beef from 33 approved countries. Now this is old data. This isn't last week's data. Like when Donald Trump approved more importing of beef and protein products, beef, pork, poultry, into the United States. It's been coming here for many years. But the problem is that U.S. food prices are pretty high. To buy a pound of beef, it's expensive. I know that the Stony Ridge Farmer, I do believe, but his is a different quality. It's not box meat that you buy from a packer. This is grown by him and others like him. If you buy directly from him, you're getting a good quality product. Callison Ranch out in Oklahoma, they do great work. Ditter Ranch, the Granny Ditter, she's on TikTok, they do beef as well. That is a different quality of meat than you're going to get from, say, Costco, Walmart, ShopRite, Food Line, Kroger. Those are different qualities of meat. Not that you can't get poorer quality. I mean, if you go into Costco, there is different qualities of meat right there in the cases that you can choose from. Most people go in there and they're like, oh, well, I can buy this sleeve. They call it a sleeve of hamburger from the frozen section, which is, whatever a pound. Let's just say $5 a pound. Or you go over to the gourmet or the higher quality section that's not frozen, and you can buy it for double that price or more. My wife is using it. Hey, dear, how much do you pay for your hamburger when you buy it?
About $31.99, $32.
For how many pounds?
Oh, I don't know. Let me look.
So we'll get it. This is Costco. She'll buy it from Costco because I'm out of ground hamburger. I got some roast downstairs. 6 pounds for $30?
$32.
$32. Could you do the math on that?
32 divided by 6.
Yeah. What is it? 6 times 5 is 30, so $5, a little over $5 a pound. So I was pretty accurate, I guess. Now, if you went over to the non-frozen section where it's 100% USDA American-raised beef, it may be double that. So there is a market for it because let's face it, not everybody has the pockets deep enough to buy, including myself, don't have the pockets deep enough to buy $10 a pound ground hamburger. So there is a market there for that. The United States, we could produce beef, and we do produce beef that goes all over the world. Don't believe the whole thing. There's an import market and there's an export market. It's just the way it is. I've had beef in different parts of the country. The other day I was in England. Yes, I was in England. I went for the weekend to my friend Lord Muck, Kurt Mills' tractor day, working tractor day. Had a great time, and I had a hamburger. That wasn't a U.S. quality hamburger. I'm sorry, Kurt. It tasted fine, but it wasn't what I would raise. It just wasn't. It was a different quality of a hamburger. It tasted great. It was good, but you could just tell the texture. It was a little more grizzly than what we would have here. But anyways, I'm going to tell you who some of the top importers are. Mexico. Due to the USMCA free trade agreement, Mexico enjoys duty-free treatment for beef export into the U.S. Now, there's a problem with that. They have screwworm in their beef, and it's only like 30 miles away from us. So it has to be ground. It has to be ground beef. You're not gonna get a steak from Mexico because of the screwworm. You open up your package and there's a steak and you cook it and then there's this little blemish. You pull it out and it's a screwworm that's in your meat. Not a good deal. I really think that they need to be really careful with this. Ivomec, send them ivermectin. Just send it to them. They can kill these things. Canada, similar to Mexico, Canada benefits from the USMCA, making a significant beef supplier to the U.S. Brazil, despite lacking a free trade agreement, Brazil is a major beef supplier to the U.S., partly due to its devalued currency. Right? There's where your $5 a pound beef is coming from. I guarantee. Hey, does that have an origin on it?
Let me look.
She's going to look for an origin because my wife is awesome. So Australia has free trade agreement with the U.S., providing duty-free treatment on most agricultural products, including beef. New Zealand, known for its high-quality animal products. New Zealand is another key beef supplier to the U.S., despite lacking a free trade agreement. So beef is coming from all over the world to the United States. Challenges and consideration. Tariffs. A 10% tariff was implemented in 2010 and April 10th of 2025 on beef imports from certain countries, including some of the top suppliers mentioned above. Labeling and packaging. Beef imports must comply with FDA, USDA labeling requirements, including accurate product naming, ingredients, listings, and nutritional facts. So it's not saying country of origin. I bet you.
Did it say where it came from? Is this packed from, that's about it, Washington, USA? Wow.
Okay, so it was packed at Washington, USA?
Distributed Costco wholesale.
All right, so it's coming into the port in Washington State. That's more than likely where it's coming in at. So it comes in Portland or on one of the other ports in Washington. Seattle, I think, is a port town as well. I'm not sure. But anyways, it doesn't say because it hasn't been required. Now, I personally would like to see a label on the label, product of. You know, like if you buy fruit, it says product of Brazil, product of Mexico, product of Honduras, product of cocaine Colombia. You know, if you're snorting coke, you want that packaging to say product of Colombia. With traces of high explosive if they fish it out of the ocean. And that's a whole nother subject. Challenges and consideration. Labeling and packaging. Beef must comply. Yeah. Inspection and testing. Imported beef is subject to reinspection and testing for residues and microbial contaminant. So it has to be bacteria-free. They'll just bleach it. They definitely do. Additional resources. If you're planning to import beef into the U.S., consider consulting a licensed customs broker or using services like USA Customs Clearance to navigate the complex regulations and ensure compliance. All right. Now, how long has beef been imported into the United States? Well, it doesn't tell me how long, but it would tell me this. It says the United States has a long history of importing beef, driven by factors like supply and demand, pricing, quality, and variety. While the country is renowned for its cattle production and beef exports, it still relies on imports to meet domestic demand, particularly for specific types of beef. That's what I was mentioning in the beginning of this video. Australia, known for its high-quality grass-fed beef, lean beef, is the largest exporter of beef to the U.S. Like I was saying, it's lean beef. Canada is the second largest exporter of beef to the U.S., producing high-quality beef for the American market. You're going to get some marbled beef from up in Canada. Mexico is a significant exporter of beef to the U.S., benefiting from the USMCA free trade agreement. Doesn't say anything of quality. That's where you're going to get your screwworms, and I guarantee you that there's screwworms in ground beef that comes from Mexico, because once they get screwworms, you can't cut them. They got to be chopped, ground up. Could even be dog food you're feeding to your dogs. You'll never notice the screwworm in your hamburger. It's just a little extra protein. New Zealand. New Zealand is known for its grass-fed beef and significant exporter to the United States. Again, another lean beef producer. Brazil is a major producer of beef and is increasingly exporting to the U.S. The U.S. imports beef for various reasons, including not quality. Just let's see, what was that? There's a legend here. Anyway, it doesn't give me imported lean beef is often used for burgers, and domestic producers focused on high fat cuts like steaks and roasts. As domestic products on higher fat cuts like steaks and roasts. Didn't I mention that earlier? Yes. Grass-fed beef. Some consumers prefer the taste and texture of grass-fed beef, which is often imported from countries like Australia and New Zealand. Price. Hey, Will.
Hey, Dad.
Imported beef can be cheaper than domestically produced beef, making it an attractive option for consumers. In 2024, the U.S. imported approximately 4.38 billion pounds of foreign beef. 4.38 billion pounds of beef. Just let that sink in. That's a lot of friggin' beef, with about 70% being lean beef trimmings used for ground beef. Just what I said earlier. This system allows domestic producers to focus on high-quality beef for export or domestic consumption, exactly what I was saying, while imported beef supplements the demand for leaner cuts. All right, so everybody that's out there that's freaking out that it's going to lower the cost of beef for the beef producer. Look, a hungry population is an angry population. It's not a population that's going to be very happy. So remember when eggs got $7.50 a dozen? People were happy. You know, Donald Trump claimed, okay, we're going to lower the price of eggs. And he has. The funny thing is, who ordered the higher price of eggs? Anyone? I dare say it was the previous administration. That was the USDA was ordering whole poultry barns completely exterminated, just killed because there was bird flu within 5 miles of their farm. This went on all through the country. So-and-so got bird flu, therefore everybody in this radius had to kill their birds, which gave a... they weren't even allowed to test for it. It didn't matter. You're within the radius. You all got to kill your birds. Now I don't know if they were compensated. I would hope that they were, but you know, who knows? Were they compensated? You know, that's just the thing. But it just amazes me that how people are now jumping on Donald Trump for all of a sudden we're going to import beef from another country. We've been importing beef for many, many years, just like I said. But here it is. In 2024, before Donald Trump was the president of the United States, again, 4.38 billion pounds of foreign beef, with about 70% of that being lean beef trimmings used in ground beef. This system allows domestic producers to focus on high quality beef for export or domestic consumption. So, American farmers and beef producers produce the best beef in the world. I would say that we do, because I'm an American and I'm a farmer, and I would hope that we do. The one beef that we don't produce here, that I don't believe we produce here, and I know it's a Japanese beef and it is so freaking good, is that Wagyu beef. That is really, really good, and it's really, really expensive. And I've only had it a few times. Usually when I go to New York City, we get this Japanese barbecue. You cook it right in front of you, and it comes with a small piece of Wagyu, like 3 slices of this Wagyu beef, and it's really, really good. Like the best I've ever eaten. It's tender, it's flavorful, and it's really, really good. So if you ever want to treat yourself to Wagyu beef, Gyukaku in New York City, go in there, Gyukaku in New York City, and get yourself some Wagyu beef. It's really, really like second to none, the best beef you're ever going to eat in your life. But American cuts, always the best. Always the best. We do export. See, that's the thing that these YouTubers and other farmers that are up in arms about importing beef are not telling you, that their beef goes to export. Now, on the back side of this video, what I would and I did it on the front side, is I would encourage anybody that does not produce beef for themselves here, if you want the quality meat, go to a local beef producer. They're all over. They're all over the place. Now, the funny thing is, in my research, that they're saying that the number of animals are down, right? The number of animals are down. Well, that's not true. See, the number of animals that are being run through the slaughterhouses, through USDA slaughterhouses or packing plants, is kind of misconstrued as the number of beef cows coming down. We are 1% less than what we were in, I forget what year, over last year, right? 1% less than what we had over last year, which is giving it this high beef price. Well, that's not really true, because there's a lot of people locally that used to sell to the packers that are now selling it locally in their local, farms markets, and they have their own farm markets. If you go on your Facebook Marketplace, you'll see that my sister Ella, she has a small farm where she produces poultry, pork. My nephew Grant, the one that's in my videos, he has pigs. So he's got hogs, and he's finishing them out right now, getting ready to slaughter them. So those don't go through the packing plants, so they're not recorded through the USDA inspection, right? So they're just those animals have been taken out of the system, and there's millions of animals that are taken out of the system. So it's not going through the big conglomerate like Mopac and Monford, those feedlots. It's just not getting recorded. But there's scores of families locally throughout the country that are able to go down to a farm store like Josh, the Stony Ridge farmer. You can go to him and say, "Hey, Josh, I'd really like to have 50 pounds of ground burger, and it'll be the best ground burger that you ever get." Or, "Hey, Josh, I want 7 steaks, 4 chops, and 6 roasts, and 50 pounds of beef burger in 1-pound packaging, or patties." And you will get the best meat you've ever eaten from him or anybody like him. And, like I said, there's scores of people. So that doesn't go through a grocery chain. It doesn't go through the packaging plants. It goes from a slaughterhouse or an abattoir, and it's packaged, returned to him, and then he disperses it on his own. Now, he has to charge a little more money, and you won't regret spending that money, because the hamburger is hamburger. And I've explained this to people before. Like when you go into McDonald's, Burger King, or any of these, fast food, Hardee's, Arby's, or wherever you go to get a hamburger, Dairy Queen, I think they used to sell hamburgers down at Dairy Queen. I don't know if they still do or not, but because I don't go into those places anymore because I'm older and more health conscious, I guess, because I kind of want to live as long as I can. My life is nearly 3/4 gone. I'm 53 years old. My grandfather died at 58. My dad would have died 2-3 years ago, but he had a heart valve put in, so he's 77 now. So 53 to 77, yeah, the odds I'm 3/4 gone. 2/3 gone. Let's say 2/3 gone then. How's that sound? 50, yeah, 25, 50, 75 years old, 2/3 gone. Yeah, so I'm kind of health conscious and I like to eat good food. Now, when I am, don't interrupt me, go. Be gone with you. Go be artistic with your mom. And so when I go to, say, Costco to buy this hamburger, it says 100% pure beef, which is a lie. It's a lie. If you're buying that patty, that patty, it is full of ice. You cook it, and there's water everywhere. But if you go down to, say, Josh, the Stony Ridge farmer, and you buy that patty, and you fry it, the only thing you get in the bottom of your pan, or if you grill it on the grill, you don't have all this spattering water vapor coming off of your hamburgers. What you get is tallow. Yeah, beef tallow, which will help you with your laugh lines and make your hair shine. And it's not bad for you, like the seed oil producers of the world have told you. And yes, I'm a seed oil producer, and things like that. Soybeans, they take the oil out of it and, make all kinds of stuff, tofu. You're getting a 100% pure patty from a local grower. If you say, I've got a 1/4 pound of beef, I'm going to put it on, and I encourage people to do this. Go down to your local market, farmer market. Buy yourself a pound of ground beef. Go over to the grocery store and buy yourself a pound of ground beef. Set them both on a plate on the counter to thaw out if it's frozen or whatever. If it's frozen, let it thaw out. You will see that the stuff you buy from the grocery store, the blood will run out of this thing as it thaws. There's water. It just runs everywhere. But what you bought from, say, a Josh the Stony Ridge farmer type of farm or market, there's a little bit of blood on the plate. It's not bad at all. It's because they add water or yield enhancer. Now, if you go to a fast food restaurant, they put in what they call a binder. It used to be pink slime. Now it's blue slime. They changed the ingredients of it so that it would not be so, I don't know. It doesn't work as good as it used to, let's put it that way. And I don't eat that crap anyway. Once in a while I will, but if you're in a hurry. But there's a binder they put into it. So they put binder and ice when they grind it. And then they form the patty, and you get that 1/4 pound of beef. Get a 1/4 pound patty from Josh the Stony Ridge farmer type place, or get a 1/4 pound of beef patty from Costco, Walmart, any of these other companies, then fry it and weigh it. I guarantee you that it's not going to be a 1/4 pound of beef when you're done frying it. It will be when you start frying it, but I guarantee you that the Josh the Stony Ridge farmer type beef patty is going to weigh a hell of a lot more than the large food chain grocery store, Walmart place that you buy your hamburgers from, because it's full of water. Teresa buys the Costco ones because I'm out of beef. I got to get some animals, and I got to kill some animals, and I got to grind beef. When you fry a Costco hamburger, the middle of it, it swells up in the middle, and then you press it down with a spatula, and it'll shoot water out the side of the hamburger. Yeah, out the side of the hamburger, because it pockets in the middle. And it's water. It's water from the ice chips melting away. So I would be, as a producer of beef in this country, more upset of the yield enhancers that they put in the beef to produce the cheap hamburgers than I would be of importing beef from other countries. But I would definitely call your legislator and say, hey, we're beef producers, or we're consumers of these products, and we're concerned with the beef that's coming in from Mexico because of screwworm, or Brazil because of screwworm, or Argentina because of screwworm. We don't want to eat screwworms. What we want to eat is good quality beef from, say, New Zealand, good one, New Zealand, Australia, good beef producers. That's where I would prefer my beef to come from. But I would like to have that choice when I go into that grocery store. Like, okay, I'm going to pick up this. It should say on the label, this is a product of the United States of America with a big old red, white, and blue flag on it, or this is a product of New Zealand, or this is a product of Australia, or this is a product of Canada. I believe that Canada does not have any screwworms. I would be perfectly happy to buy beef from Canada if it was a less price beef, but I would definitely love to be able to buy U.S. ground beef, but we just don't produce the lean beef that is being imported. So I hope this has given some people some insight into what it means for beef producers, and I'm telling you right now, it's very little, because you're still going to be producing that high quality beef. Consumers are still going to go into those grocery stores and look at a beef patty in the gourmet or U.S. quality beef patty, and they're going to say, I'm not spending $10 a pound for that beef patty. I can go over to the frozen food section and I can get that same amount of hamburger, which you're not. You're getting a third of water, but you get a third of it as water and binder, and they're going to buy that. It's a consumer's choice. It really is a consumer's choice. And we don't produce those types of beef products that people want, because we're more into the nice marbled steak, that beautiful, nicely marbled roast. Everybody likes good roast beef. You're not going to get a good roast beef out of a lean beef animal. Trust me, lean beef is an old dairy cow. That's what that is, an old used up dairy cow. They make dried beef out of that. So like if you're having corned beef and hash, or corned beef and hash, right? Or what's that? What is that? What's shit on a shingle? What do you call shit on a shingle? SOS. What is that?
I don't know.
It's well, whatever. SOS. Not corned beef. Yeah, whatever. Corned beef is quality beef. That is marbled beef. You don't get shitty beef when you have corned beef and cabbage. That's good stuff. But anyways, I just hope everybody understands now a little more that we've been importing beef all along. The price of beef to somebody who has enough money that they can buy the quality cuts, this will have no effect on that price. American beef producers, you don't produce what they're trying to lower the price of. They're trying to lower the price of the hamburgers that goes into, say, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, and those, and make those hamburgers under $10. You know, a Whopper is over $10 now. A Whopper is over $10 for just a freaking sandwich. It's a lot of money for a fast food. That's expensive fast food. I remember going to McDonald's when I was like 20, and it was $5.35 for a meal, fries, drink, and a hamburger. And then they would give you an apple pie if you bought more than 2 meals. They'd give you 2 apple pies. You could buy those apple pies. Those apple pies were good. I'm not going to lie. I really liked the apple pies from McDonald's. They were hot and they were good. But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope I cleared the mud, and catch me on the next one.